Hey folks, it's Jackson Galaxy, your cat daddy here, and I am in southern Florida, believe it or not, with Hurricane Irma bearing down us. I thought this might be that time to give you guys Emergency Preparedness 101 for your cats. Don't forget that the number 2 stress-causing thing in humans is moving. So that's right behind a death in the family. So if you're experiencing evacuation, that's moving times 10. You're gonna start thinking in ways that you might not have ever thought before. So I want you to make this pledge to yourself. First and foremost, your animals are your family. They're gonna come with you no matter what. You're not gonna leave them behind. I mean, you might think to yourself, hey man, that's obvious, I would never do that. Think about this. After Hurricane Katrina, over 100,000 animals were left behind. And that you may say, oh, that's other people. When you're experiencing that kind of stress, you don't know how you're gonna react. I'm just saying, make that pledge to yourself right now. Everything else will fall into line. Now, that aside, let's start moving into what you can do before you have to evacuate, before there's an emergency, because there's a lot of prep that you can get done before that. Now, the first thing is obviously identification. You want to have a tag and collar on your cat at all times, and you want to make sure there's not just your phone number, but somebody else's phone number as well, because cellular service may go down during an emergency and you want to have a secondary contact. Now, that said, during an emergency, most cat collars are breakaways, and it may break away and your cat will lose its collar. Every cat should be microchipped. I don't care if you're looking at an emergency or not, it is a given. Did you know that only 2% of lost cats find their way home without a microchip? You gotta have a chip. And you also want to make sure that you call the chip company beforehand, and all of your information, phone numbers, addresses, contacts, everything is totally updated, because you may have let that slip your mind beforehand. Okay, we got identification. Now what else? You want to have a great picture of your animal, right? You want to make sure it's front and center. It shows their whole body, their coloration, their age, and everything. Make sure that it's current, and make sure that it's full color. And that way, if you have to, hopefully not, make a lost flyer or something that says my animal is missing, you can hand that picture out to shelters, to vet clinics, to police, and also hang up those flyers all over town. That way you have a great picture. Also make sure that you have a waterproof bag, and in that waterproof bag you also have identification, the pictures, current medication and dietary restrictions, just so we have all that taken care of ahead of time. Speaking of medication, you want to have a month's worth of your cat's current medication on hand. You don't know how long the pharmacies are going to be down, and you can't go without that medication. Food. Under stress, your animals are going to respond differently than they would at home. Take their favorite food and have about a week's supply of that, because again, they may get picky, they may stop eating, and you want to make sure that that's taken care of. Moving on. I want to make sure that you guys start thinking about base camp, what I call base camp for your cats. And that has all of their favorite things in it, with their bowls, their litter boxes, their beds, their toys, their scratching posts even. Things that are what I call scent soakers. So when your cat touches it, rubs up against it, scratches it, it leaves their scent on it. They become signposts to them that say, I'm home, this belongs to me. Those are things that can move with you. So when you evacuate, you take those toys, you take those beds, you take those litter boxes, you take those dishes, wherever you go, hotel room, shelter, and new home, they immediately go to that base camp and say, that's right, everything is normal here. Everything is systems normal here. That's where base camp comes in handy. Also, a dirty sweatshirt, something that smells like you, put that in base camp as well. When they complement your scent with theirs, again, it feels like home. Now, let's move past base camp. That's their carrier. Before any emergency happens, first of all, make sure that every one of your cats has a carrier on hand. Not in the garage, not in the tough shed, but home with you. So if you gotta move in the middle of the night, they go into their carrier. But they have to see their carrier as a safe zone. And that means you start training them beforehand to see their carrier as a den, as a place to go to. That dirty sweatshirt I was talking about, that goes in that den. It smells like you. Then you start feeding them their favorite treats in there. Keep the door open at all times. Make sure it's a place that they can go into, feel safe, get their favorite treats, make positive associations way before you ever have to evacuate. But make sure that that carrier is the right size. It feels like a den. They can get up, turn around, but it's not huge either. It's got to be portable, okay? So that's your carrier, making sure that that's on hand and ready to go. Harnesses. Now your cat may not be trained to a harness. That means nothing. In an emergency, you know that if your cat freaks out, they are this big ball of claws and teeth and all kinds of things, and they are going to be on the move trying to get away from you. a harness might be that one thing that gives you a leg up, so to speak, and you can get your cat under control in an emergency situation. So a harness is a really good idea. These are all little things that all together create an emergency pack ready for you to evacuate. Speaking of emergency pack, there's all kinds of lists that are comprehensive I won't go into right now. But an emergency kit is something, of course, everybody should have. And that's, like I was saying before, medication, food, water, bottled water, because you have no idea the availability of bottled water when there's a hurricane coming. You want to make sure that you have all that stuff. If you go to aspca.org, hsus.org, bestfriends.org, you're going to find all you need when it comes to that emergency kit list, so I won't go into it right now. Do your due diligence, have that ready and set aside. Now, when it comes to the evacuation itself, you want to have your route planned out. You want to make sure that you know where you can go. Don't assume that every evacuation shelter is going to be pet friendly. Unfortunately, not all of them are. Now, if you go to petfriendlyhousing.com, that gives you a complete list of all the places along your route that will be pet friendly. And most hotels will relax their pet policies during emergencies, but you can't bank on that. Make sure along your route you also know every emergency pet clinic along the way. If anything is to happen, you want to make sure, boom, I know exactly where I'm going, where I can get the best care for my animal along my evacuation route. You see, we're making sure that everything is taken care of beforehand so that by the time it's time to leave, you're good to go, man. You know exactly how to get out. You're not making harsh decisions on the spot. You're not dealing with your own stress level. You're just gone, okay? That's the before. Now we've got everything everything is ready before. Now let's talk about during the crisis. Your energy is your animal companion's energy. The more you go up here, the more they're going to meet you up here. It's going to be harder to transport them, and they're going to be subject to the kind of stress-induced problems that we see. Even upper respiratory infections and urinary tract infections happen because animals are stressed out. So keep yourself nice and chill. You've already got a plan. Now let's just put it into place. One thing that I've found that people tend to do, they get their cats in the car, the cat starts crying, the cat might even pee in their carrier. You've got extra towels with you, you got extra blankets, don't worry about the pee. Here's the thing, don't let your animals loose in the car if you don't have to. It's really, it's a nice thought, but it's not going to make them less stressed out, in my experience anyway. What you can do is make the opposite choice. Have a towel on hand, towel that crate, just reduce their visual stimulation. That should help them a lot. Otherwise, they're going to meow. They're going to make noise for that first 10, 15, 20 minutes, even an hour. Let them do it, continue to talk to them, but I wouldn't let them out. Now, if you do have a time where you have to let your cat out, they're in a hotel room, something like that, then just make sure that all windows and all doors are just sealed tight. You don't want to have to chase your cat during an emergency. Believe me, I have experience with it, I can tell you. Now, you're going to think I'm crazy right now, but I am crazy. Let me tell you one thing that I think helps a lot. Your litter boxes. Bring those litter boxes with you. They're gold when it comes to territorial scent soaking and your cat saying, okay, I'm home. When I move, I take the dirty litter as well. Of course, I scoop beforehand, but that scent is in there. You put it in the garbage bag, it won't stink. When you get to this new place, you put that litter down with that litter box, which you have not sterilized, you have not gotten rid of all the scent. That really is very helpful for your cat. Make sure that you have portable litter boxes and things like that, because you might have to stop at a hotel along the route. It's all about energy, all about preparedness. Now we want to get from point A to point B, and those are the major tips for the during. Now we're going to talk about what happens after the crisis. Everybody experiences post-traumatic stress, humans, animals alike. So your animals may be acting in a way that concerns you. They may stop eating for a little while. They may start peeing inappropriately. They may stop using their litter box. They may change up their entire process because they're reliving this thing. So first of all, be patient with them. You want to make sure that you're giving them the time to adjust. But I've given you some tools. Now we can put those tools to work. Before, during the preparation, I was talking about getting base camp ready for your animals. Now it's time to put that base camp into action. You get into your new place, you have a room that is designated as base camp. It could be a master bedroom where you're sleeping, but it could be any room. Now you've got their litter box, you've got their beds, you've got their scratching posts, you've got their dishes, you got all the good stuff, the stuff that smells like you, it goes in one place. The carrier is also that mobile base camp. Put the carrier in that room as well. Let them out and let them own that room. Before they start moving out, don't expose them to a big old hunk of territory. Let them call that place their own before you move on to something else. And then as you move on, base camp can explode out to the entire territory. You take that scratching post, those beds, all those great little scent soakers, and bring them out to the rest of the place. But have patience. Start small. Let your animals feel that sense of belonging in a new place before you move forward. The second part about base camp we don't talk about often is routine. Cats are slaves to routine, much like we are. Nobody likes anarchy, right? So, and that's what you're experiencing, anarchy during the emergency. Now it's time to get your routines back in order. I know it sounds crazy, but as soon as you get there and you get settled in, start playing with your cats again. Start talking about those 3 R's, rituals, routine, and rhythm, where your cats experience that day-to-day rhythm that they may be losing out on. All the things that you did before, get them back in order as quickly as you possibly can. It's really going to help forestall the symptoms of post-traumatic stress. So that's a big one. And we've talked about this already, but think about it again. Manage your stress. If you're up here, your animals are energetically going to meet you up here, and you don't want that to happen. It's a vicious cycle. Everyone needs to just be calm, man. Be chill. You're in a new place. You've gotten through the storm. Now it's time to reestablish a routine. Be cool with them. Now, that said, if those symptoms, not eating, peeing outside the box, pacing, whining, if those things continue to happen, don't hesitate. Go to a vet and make sure that everything hasn't graduated from emotional stress to physical stress, because it happens very quickly. We know upper respiratory infections, urinary tract infections, things like that spike when emotional stress is high. In fact, you have probably experienced that before. In really high stress times, you're like, why did I just catch a cold? Why do I have the flu now? It's because your immune system became suppressed while your energy was all spent stressing out. So your pets are going to experience that as well. Just go to the vet when you have to. Hey, listen, I use flower essence remedies daily on all of my animals. During, before, and after a crisis, having those essences on hand has been invaluable to me. Just putting it out there, it works really well for me. But it's all about reestablishing your 3 R's, routine, ritual, rhythms. Everything that you do before, you want to do after. Get everything feeling like the same as it was before, because if you act that way, it's going to get back that way faster than you might think possible. In the meantime, look for all those symptoms I was talking about. Get your cat to the vet if need be, and let's get back to normal, right? We've talked about before, during, and after, and we've talked about that pledge that you made to take your animal companions with you no matter what. Let's not forget, these guys are our family. They are family, and they should go with us at any time. Remember, over 40,000 people didn't evacuate from Hurricane Katrina because they didn't want to leave their animals behind. And we don't want to be putting you guys in that position. Make sure you know the shelters that will take these guys. Make sure you've got an evacuation route. You've got your emergency kit. You got everything together, so all you have to do when the time comes is execute. All right, guys, that's all the tips I got for you. In the meantime, with Hurricane Irma coming down here right now, everybody stay safe. Listen to evacuation orders. Get out of town if you have to get out of town. Keep your animals with you. And everybody, light, love, and mojo from your cat daddy. Stay safe, guys. Mwah.